I just got my little notes out.
Super thorough, man, because most
Man,
people like, what are you gonna talk about? I tell them like, all right, bet.
and
Then
then
they
they just
come
show up.
deer in the headlights. And I'm always like, look, it's a conversation. I ain't gonna probe nobody, but for this one, I was like, I gotta make sure I give him solid questions and give them to him before, because if
Yeah,
you,
because in
yeah,
real estate, there's there's a lot of different avenues. There's a lot of different programs. So, it's good to know.
yeah.
It's good to know what I'm talking about before. Do a little research.
Plus, gotta make sure you sound good. You know what I mean? We
Yeah,
trying to promote you
100%.
on this one.
I appreciate
All right. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Tevin Denzel, aka Tron DeLorean, aka Dago Soul, aka your girlfriend's favorite fat boy. And today I got another one of my SDS brethren in the house,
you. Yes, sir.
Mr. Terrill, aka the Inland Empire.
Inland Empire. I want to say Southern California. I
There we
just
go.
like
Sound
Southern
better.
California. Yeah.
Okay. That was actually one of my questions that I answered.
Yeah.
Southern California realtor,
Yes, sir.
which is dope to see my brothers going in so many different avenues. But now, like, as you progress in life, you want more things. We went from meeting each other over sneakers on a Facebook group
Man,
to
we've came a
now
long way since Fashion Valley, man.
camping out of Fashion Valley.
What was we used to do? We used to just pull up for the raffles.
For the raffle,
Yeah,
yep.
man, we came a long way since them raffles.
I'm saying, and then now this brother is slanging cribs,
Man,
helping to set up and protect generational wealth,
mm-hmm.
all that beautiful thing. So we're gonna go right into it. Terrill, can you just give people just a quick synopsis of who you are, what you do, and why you so dope?
Hey, man, I appreciate the intro. Man, yeah, like I said, we go way back. SDS, man, so many good friends and family met in that group.
Mm-hmm.
But me, originally, I'm from Texas. Joined the military, did 21 years. Long story short, and now that I'm in real estate, I retired a year and a half ago. Now that I'm in real estate,
Mm-hmm.
I like to go back and teach the younger airmen what I learned.
Yeah.
Just being in real estate a year, I've learned so much,
Mm-hmm.
and I wish I would have known back then what I know now about, the leverage of real estate and how you could use it to
Yeah.
build generational wealth.
So this has been just 1 year.
I only been in real estate a year.
That's crazy, because I mean the SDS barbecue at Ski Beach was like a year ago.
Yeah,
So you was fresh.
fresh.
This brother
I
came
think
through with
when
business
you
cards and
told me
everything.
when you introduced me to, I met one of your
Lonnie.
friends there.
Lonnie, yeah.
That was probably the first, like my first dabble in trying to grab a client.
It didn't. It seemed seamless though.
Yeah,
I was like, the way you pulled up, you had the cards. He's like, "What are you
I had
looking
the
for?"
cards
All
off.
this.
Yeah.
He had the whole thing. It was genuine. It wasn't like
That
a
was
sales
like my
pitch. It was like a
first,
real
like,
conversation.
Trying to grab a client out in San Diego. Like, okay, let me see if I can. Yeah, yeah.
It was smooth. I'm pulling up the notes. So don't think I'm just scrolling TikTok or whatever.
No, you good.
I'm pulling up the notes because I had set aside some questions for Terrill. So I wanted to make sure when I brought him on that we had all our ducks in a row. So the first thing I want to know is, what got you into real estate, and what was the process of becoming a realtor?
So for me, what got me in real estate, towards the end of my career, I knew after being in for 21 years, I mean, I wouldn't change a thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
The military isn't for everybody, but I knew at that point I didn't want to work for anybody.
Yeah.
I went to school, I got my bachelor's, I got my master's, but I knew I didn't really want a boss anymore. I wanted to do my own thing, and real estate was kind of one of those things where, unfortunately, at the time I was going through a separation, so we were selling our house, and I literally just asked my real estate agent, like, "Hey, you mind if I come intern with you? There's this program in the military called the Skill Bridge. I can get out 6 months early, and I can intern for you. They'll pay me. You don't got to pay me anything.
Yeah.
And I just show up." And she was like, "Sure." And that started my journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you selling your house actually got you into, ironically, selling houses, which is crazy.
Yeah, ironically. And then so, going through the process, you got to go through a 3-month course.
Mm-hmm.
Really easy. I mean, people try to make it harder than what it is, but it's not.
Yeah.
And it's only 3 months because the courses are time locked.
Mm-hmm.
You can only do so much in 30 days. So what I did was I just waited the 90 days
Yeah.
for all the courses to unlock, bought a bottle of Jameson and relaxed the weekend and knocked it out. Like I literally knocked out, the 3 courses in a weekend.
Yeah.
And then once you have your certificate from finish the courses online, I think I went through Allied Schools, which is easy. I can send people that information.
Yeah.
I took the state exam, which again, people try to make that harder than what it is. It's not hard at all. I literally found a YouTube channel. This guy, I forgot his name. I will plug him right now if I remember the channel. But I literally Google California real estate exam, and this guy's videos popped up, and it was the top 75 California real estate exam questions. It's like a 3-hour long YouTube video.
Yeah.
It's rough to get through. 3 hours, watching a 3-hour YouTube. But he makes it interactive, and he cracking jokes in, but it's about 3 hours. Yeah. But I literally listened to that video for a weekend, another weekend after I signed up for the test. Listened to it on my way down here to San Diego.
I was gonna say, was it a smooth run through? You just watched it multiple times?
Yeah, I watched it multiple times.
Okay.
On my way down to San Diego, because I took my test down here, listened to it all the way down here, took the test. I mean, I thought I knew the test backwards and forwards because I knew the answers before I even finished the question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that ended up blowing up in my face because afterwards I was the first one done. I was like, man, I killed this.
Yeah.
Get the paper, because they tell you right then if you pass or fail. Got my paper, got in the car, opened it, and I failed. I missed it by one, and I was just like, what? Like, I couldn't believe it. And what happened is the video that the guy was you going through, what they do is they change words, maybe just like 1 or 2 words in each question that will give you a different, because that's how real estate is.
Yeah.
Real estate, you can change 1 word in a contract and get a totally different outcome. So you got to be really careful with that. And that's what they did with those answers on the test. Yeah. They changed little words in the questions that made it a totally different answer.
So you started reading like, oh, I know this answer, but
so I didn't even read the whole question. I just was answering them. I literally went back the next day.
Yeah.
I called my broker. I was like, man, I failed. I can't believe it. He was like, oh, don't worry about it. Just go back and take it tomorrow. I was like, oh, I can take the test again tomorrow? He's like, yeah, you just got to pay again. It was only $60. I was like, all right, cool. Came back to San Diego the next day, took it, made sure I read every question this time, passed it, no problem.
There you go.
You got a real estate license, 3 months, easy. Yeah.
So you really got to want to do it, though. So I feel like everyone, not everyone, but people just say, I'm going to become a realtor.
Yeah.
For one, I feel like most people don't have the passion.
Man.
But also, like you just said, I feel like if you make it harder than it has to be, then it is.
It is.
But if you're doing straightforward, you know what you want, you know what you're trying to do. Easy to get into it, but then the back end work.
Man, the grind is crazy. So I tell people, because people look at real estate agents and we have like this life, this facade. I mean, there's some agents out there that's killing it. But then there's some agents out there that's just kind of living this facade. I try not to do that. I try to just be 100. It is a grind. Yeah. I feel like I work more now than I did when I was in the military, man. To be completely honest, I'm up at 5:30. What time is it now? I was up at 5 o'clock this morning. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock at night. I had an open house today. I had a showing today. It's you gotta really want to be a real estate agent, because the money, you gotta grind for it. It doesn't come easy.
So you'll have slow months, you'll have really good months, and then some months you might not even get anything.
Right now, because of the rise of interest rates, like the market has slowed down to a screeching halt. Like for me personally, I'm busy. Yeah. But I'm talking to older real estate agents that's been in the game, and they haven't seen anything like this, like the slowdown right now. Yeah. People are being really frugal with their money. People are really holding on to everything because they don't know. It's an uncertainty. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I work in hospitality, which is, of course, not realty. But, with us, it's like we're starting to kind of see a lot of reservations coming in. They're getting canceled. People are calling us like, what is the cancellation policy? I want the best rate, but I don't know. I'm not coming until July. I don't know what July is going to look like. And I read, I think it was yesterday, that the Fed was, going to raise the...
Oh, he did. Was it today or yesterday? Yeah.
It was yesterday. They raised interest again.
0.25%. Yeah.
What does that mean for the average homeowner and home buyer right now?
Okay, so now that's kind of 2 different avenues of interest rates. So,
well, let me ask you from this way. Let me just say let's say from my perspective.
Okay.
I'm trying to buy my first home.
Okay.
What does that mean for me when they say the interest rates are getting higher?
Okay, got you. So right now, interest rates right now for first-time home buyers, we're looking at about 6%.
Okay.
Which typically it's crazy to say, isn't high. I think people were so used to being spoiled with the 1%, the 2%,
Yeah.
the 3%. But if you look at longevity, the last 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
the average interest rate was like 7.75 or 7.5%.
Yeah.
So we're still under the 40-year average.
Yeah.
But people are screaming, "Oh, it's high interest rate, it's high interest rate." The problem right now is the prices of homes haven't properly reflected the high interest rates. Home prices are coming down.
Yeah.
They're just not coming down fast enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Jay Powell is doing. So what Jay Powell, when he says he's raising the interest rate, he's raising the interest rate as far as when banks are borrowing money.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to stop inflation. He's trying to make things cost so much where people are like, you know what, I'm not gonna buy anything. So
Yeah.
prices have to come down.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do.
He's trying to
But
force
the
the prices
prices
down.
aren't coming down fast enough.
Yeah.
And that's why he keeps raising the rates.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I see it in my head. I'm like, does that mean that people are gonna just kind of hold on to things, or like one thing I was thinking, I was talking to my girlfriend. I was saying, would this make houses come down because interest is so high?
Mm-hmm.
Again, if interest is high, and no one's gonna buy. People are gonna be like, you know what? They're not gonna buy it at this. I have to come down.
Nah, prices are coming down.
Okay, so that's
Prices
all
are
right,
coming
okay.
down. They're just not coming down fast enough.
Yeah.
California is just one of those niche markets where you will have a person that comes from Orange County
Mm-hmm.
and will spend ungodly amounts of money for a piece of nothing just because they like the view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard to base a real estate market on where it's just California just got a lot of money. I mean, point blank. I mean, it's California. There's just a lot of money out here, and people will spend it.
Yeah.
So when people are saying like, "Oh, the housing market is slowing down," this and that, yeah, it is. But out here, people are still spending money.
Yeah.
Yeah, California it's a different breed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. So, with that being said, so let's say if you're selling a home right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, prices are going down. Are you seeing them go down on, let's say, like family style homes, or is it more or less like the larger cribs that are kind of coming down?
I say across the board, all
of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
across the board, all. And I mean, if you are looking to sell your house,
Yeah.
what I would say is just be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the days of you getting 20, 30, 40, $50,000 over what you listed for are gone.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not happening anymore. Houses are sitting on the market 30, 60, 90 days.
Yeah.
I'm getting right now, my buyers are getting closing cost credits, home improvement credits,
Yeah.
you know, things of that nature. There's so many avenues and different incentives that you can get to sweeten the deal because they have to.
Yeah.
You know, you want to sell your house, you got to sweeten the deal a little bit.
Yeah.
Man.
So speaking of incentives, what would let's say like for me myself, my girlfriend and I we're about to start getting into the market in the next year or so.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're looking to get a crib, and we have a daughter, are there certain programs that we should be looking into? What would be offered to us? Do we get something different than if it was just a single person trying to get the home?
Okay, well, first I would ask, okay, do you have any military background?
No.
Okay, so the VA loan is out the way. California does have a program. It's called CalHAFA for first-time home buyers. But what I like to push people to, especially if it's their first-time home buyer and they are willing to see the long-term benefit of real estate, is the NACA program and to purchase multifamily units.
Okay.
What I would tell you and your girl to do, I would look for a triplex or a quadplex in the San Diego area, to the point where you already want to have tenants in the property.
Okay.
You can use that tenant's property rent as qualification. You can use 75% of their rent to help you qualify
Oh shit. Okay.
to purchase the whole home.
Yeah.
Now, what NACA does, NACA is a program for first-time home buyers, normally with low credit, low income credit, and no money down, but it is a very strenuous process. Like
Yeah.
they are gonna dig into your finances.
Yeah.
They want to see 2 years W-2s. They want to see bank statements. They want to see all your debt. They want to see credit card statements.
Yeah.
And they're gonna ask for it multiple times.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get frustrated with the NACA program because of that reason. But what they don't understand is you asking a bank to loan you hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
for nothing.
They got to know this is a good investment.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you walking in the door, you're signing some papers, and you're asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
You can't be upset that they're gonna dig into your history a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One thing that got me was talking about houses. Like, even though we're purchasing a home, which could be an investment, to the bank, we're also an investment.
Exactly.
So one thing I was going to ask you is, so would you prefer someone go into buying their first home with no credit? Of course, that is probably the best idea, but do they
When you
want
say
to?
no credit, what do you mean?
I mean, not no. I'm sorry, no debt. My bad. Like, do they want to see you actively paying off stuff and how good you are? Or do they want to see you with a clean?
Well, what they're gonna look at, they're gonna look at your credit to debt income ratio. They're gonna look at that to see how much money you got coming in to what you got going out.
Yeah.
You don't want to be over DTI 20-30%.
Okay.
20%. But really, what they're gonna keen in on is your credit score. That's where you want to make sure your credit score is high, and that you're doing the proper steps to get a good credit score. 640 or higher. For most programs, even some lenders can go down to like 580.
Yeah.
You know, but when you go down that low, you're gonna
Kind
get
of danger zone.
Yeah,
there,
you're gonna
probably.
get a really high interest rate. So it's better to just take the time to fix your credit than to take an interest rate that high because you got a really low credit score. You know what I mean?
We want to, for one, when we get our house, we want to have no debt if possible.
Okay.
Because we want to make sure that we're making more than just whatever the minimum is.
Right.
Because we're going to get probably a 25, 30-year loan, but we want to pay it off before then.
Gotcha.
One thing, my dad bought this house, what is it now, going on about 4 years, and he just turned 60. So he's like, I don't know if we're going to be here for another 30 years. So he's been paying like, double whatever the mortgage is. And he's also, paying half the mortgage in the one in Orange County. His backstory on that house. But he's just like, when you get these loans, you're going to pay it for 25, 30 years. So one thing with us, we're like, we have a daughter now. God forbid something happens to us. We don't want to leave her with a huge mountain of debt and in this house, especially when we're going to work so hard to get it, her lose it. So we talked a bit before the pod about leaving things in trust like that. For first-time home buyers, what do you recommend as far as safety and security and when you first get that home? Because getting the home, of course, is a huge deal. But then to make sure you can also not only maintain it, but to protect it.
Well, I would like to go back and tap into what you said before, because
that was a long question, I know.
Yeah, the way that you explained debt. Okay, so first of all debt ain't bad debt.
Yeah.
So the way that you're explaining debt in your home, it's not really debt in your home. You're building equity in your home. That's equity that you can use to actually go purchase more things.
Yeah.
More properties or investments or things of that nature. So when you're looking at your property that you own, these two homes, don't look at it as debt.
Yeah.
Look at it as equity.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can tap into that money and you can use it for other things. Like you want to start a trucking business, take a home equity line of credit out, start a trucking business. Or you want to take a home equity line out, buy another rental property, you can do that.
Yeah.
So it's not really debt at that point. You know what I mean?
So the equity, is that basically what you already paid or what the house is worth?
I really want to ask your dad, why would he pay? Like, why would he double up on a mortgage like that?
He was doing it in the beginning because they had stacked so much, but I think now he's slowed down a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but
he has slowed down a little bit when my uncle passed and we got the girls.
I would love to sit him down with one of my financial team guys to see, because there's probably some plays that y'all could make
He's been working on trying to get a refinance for it. I mean, he got a great rate with Navy Fed, and then we actually just got solar. So we're trying to help, with some things on that, add a little bit more value.
Gotcha.
But I know, I think it's in a couple of years and look to try to refinance possibly.
Because right now the big play is ADUs.
ADUs? What's that?
ADUs is additional dwelling units. Okay. So say y'all own a house in Orange County. Yeah. It's a single family home, like residence. Yeah. How big is the lot?
I can actually look it up for you right now. Let me see.
Well, it doesn't even really matter, honestly. So let's just we just gonna throw numbers out there. So you got a single family residence. Say let's just say 2,500 square feet,
Yeah.
9,000 square foot lot.
Okay.
All right, you can literally turn that one house into three houses, and here's how. In ADUs, you can put up to a 1,200 square foot ADU in your backyard, two bedroom, one bath. And then you can also convert your garage into a junior suite up to 700 square feet,
Yeah.
one bedroom, one bath. Now, let's just say your pops, he takes out a home equity line of credit to finance this ADU bill.
Yeah.
Yes, his interest rate is gonna go up because interest rates are high right now,
Yeah.
right? But why is he stressing the interest rate when he's gonna have renters in there paying for it?
Yeah.
He's not paying the interest.
So you say kind of spread,
You know
spread
what I'm
it out a
saying?
little
Like
bit more.
he
Yeah.
ain't paying the interest. Like he gonna put a family in that ADU. He gonna have a family in that main home, and he can rent out the garage, or he can rent it out for storage, residual income. He can have y'all stay in the main house. That could be y'all main house, and then y'all could be property managers for the person that lives in the ADU and the person that lives in the garage.
Ah, see.
You see what I'm saying? Now
Okay.
you turn one house into three.
See, and that's something, again, this is why it's a great conversation, because I would never thought of that.
Yeah.
When I think about renting, I'm like, all right, the house as it is, we'll rent it out to people. But you saying you can take that whole plot and possibly just rebuild stuff on it and make that
It's called
multi-use.
ADUs. So right now,
Okay.
California is about 3.5 million houses in deficit, meaning that we're 3.5 million houses behind the amount of people that are here.
Say that one more time for the people.
3.5 million.
Which is crazy.
Crazy. Behind in houses. That's why you see all these developments popping up everywhere. So what they did is they released a law that gives everyone in California the ability to build ADUs, additional dwelling units.
Yeah.
But the stipulation is that you already have to have a single family residence on the property, because this is an addition to that. And like I said, you can turn one house into three. And if you're renting each part of it out, why are you worried about the interest rate? Because your renters are paying for it.
They're
And
paying
then
that
guess
portion.
what's going to happen? Eventually, that interest rate is going to go down.
Yeah.
So when that interest rate go down, you're going to refinance. But what you ain't going to do is lower your rent.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Okay.
Bingo. Long game. It's all the long game.
Man, see, you making these questions easier and easier for me. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of go back to one of the other questions I had is,
Okay.
when I had asked you earlier, is when we're talking about having a home, right? And you as a realtor, do you deal with mostly people who are buying to flip, or more people who are looking to get that home for a generational space?
Well, me, I've been lucky, honestly. So when I first started in real estate, it was with a land developer.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot about zoning laws, getting in with the planning commission, the city ordinance, and just working with the city. Because once you start developing and trying to build things, you got to get in good with the city because they control everything. Yeah.
All the movements.
But so I learned that aspect, but then I deal with just normal, my very first client was a neighbor of mine. They just had a baby, was about to have another, and needed to move. And he was like, "Oh, you got your license? Can you help me?" It's like, "Of course." Boom. And it just organically happened like that, And then I also work with investors that I do it all. So I have guys that are out there looking for distressed properties, wholesalers. So they'll go out, find a distressed properties, run the ROI, return on investment numbers, or how much money they got to put into it. Okay, I can flip it for this. Boom, the numbers look good. Let's do it. Let's put an offer in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had two clients of both sides coming at one property?
Nah, not for me. No.
Okay.
Now, when I first started in real estate, mind you, this was about 1.5 years ago. My first client, the guy I helped get the house. This was still around the time where the market was hot. So we actually submitted maybe like 10 or 15 offers on different properties, and he just kept getting beat out because people were out, overbidding. But then it got to the point where he was in that right moment where the market shifted and houses started to sit. So then he ended up getting the house that he wanted for the price he wanted. Yeah. Oh, good. And then my second deal, the market shifted a little bit more. I was able to negotiate closing costs. Got my guy in the house. I think he walked in with like 20K equity because it appraised higher than what we offered. So, yeah, worked out.
Because we got this one during COVID.
Okay.
I actually bought this. The first day we moved in was actually, ironically, 4th of July.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So mid-COVID, they started looking in like, February, March. We had a couple that they were like, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. And because at that time, people were kind of throwing a lot of cash and getting a lot of, loans, we got beat out a lot. People who were like, you know what, I got them paying cash up front. So at one point, they were like, we're just kind of done. We'll just wait. They got discouraged. Shout out Christina, who was a friend of mine from high school, who was our realtor. She found this place, and even this one, we almost lost it.
Oh, wow.
But the person buying it, the person who was selling it was like, the other buyer, I can tell, they want to flip this house. We've lived here for about, I think it was like 15, somewhere between 15 and 30 years. It was a minute. She was like, I want this to go to somebody who's going to have a family. I want whoever moves onto this block to be a family, and for this to be a family unit, not to become a quick flip in this neighborhood.
Gentrification is happening. Yeah. And it's funny you say that. It's starting to happen a lot where people are like, nah, I don't want to sell to investors. I want to sell to like a family. Yeah. That's starting to I'm starting to see that a lot nowadays. Yeah.
So buyers do have a lot of that preference of, like, I get it. If you've lived in a house for, it's like 20 years.
Yeah. It's personal at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever had someone, sell a house to someone and then before it closes kind of get cold feet and back out like, I don't know if I want to do that deal?
No, not really. No. So what I try to do is I prepare my clients to be emotionally prepared, because first you got to get emotionally detached from the house. Yeah. Because if you're not emotionally detached from the house, it's going to be a rough process. You know what I mean? You got to get yourself emotionally detached and know, okay, this is what we're doing. Yeah. Lay the groundwork, lay the blueprint, and then just follow the process. Yeah.
We checked out a couple spots, and the owners were there during the open house. And it was like this.
That's the worst possible thing. I never want my owners at my open houses.
And it was one of them, like the son was there, and he was like in his room chilling. So I'm trying to look through the rooms, and I said, oh, my bad, man. I'm thinking he's like, one of the people that open house. But nah, it's their house. And they're oh, we're sorry, we're going to go outside. We're going to go get some food. And they were doing stuff in the house and left, and I was like, this feels mad awkward.
Yeah, it's awkward.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't really want to sell it. Yeah, they don't really want to sell it.
And that house actually ended up pulling it. Yeah. They were like, we don't want to sell it.
Yeah, they don't want to sell it.
But I always wonder that, because that one incident, I was like, y'all know that y'all have an open house. Like, it's been posted, but y'all are still here. So I'm like.
They wasn't emotionally detached yet.
And that's got to be crazy, because, again, if it's a family house, like, yeah, we want to get a bigger house. We want to move on. But it's like, that emotional tie is still there. Okay. Yeah. So
you do run into that.
Is it often, or is it kind of more or less just?
No, it's hit and miss. It depends. Every client is different. Every situation. That's why I kind of like real estate, because every situation is different. Yeah. Yeah. It's never a cookie cutter, start to finish, A, B, C, D. It's like always. And honestly, I like it. I like making the deal. Yeah. I enjoy like the negotiation process, and I like negotiation process, and I just like making the deal happen, man. I don't know. Yeah.
So how do you find your clients? Do clients usually come to you, or do you kind of go out there and
I do
put your name out there?
Well, referrals are always nice. I get referrals from family and friends. I also do door knocking, cold calling. I deliver mailers. I'm out on the street networking. Like,
how's the cold calling? Man, I used to work at 24.
Man,
I hated cold calling. If you came in the gym, or if I saw you out in town center, I could pull up on you, have a conversation, get you in there, sign you up, no problem. The cold calling though, like getting referrals and calling, it was just, it felt intrusive for me.
Everybody says they hate it. I think this shit is funny. Yeah, I enjoy it. I be playing Call of Duty. I be chilling, man.
Chilling doing it.
Cause I have my script like memorized. So as soon as somebody answers the phone, like I know exactly what I'm saying. I match their tone. Like if it's a girl, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? You know what I mean? I'm matching their tone, and I enjoy cold call. I've had some really dope conversations with people, but I've also been cussed out. Yeah. So but
then again,
like
turn me there.
It's just like, oh, that person must have been happy. I don't let that bother me, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know who that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, man.
At the resort we work at, there was a period where they were like, all right, we're kind of slowing down. People aren't traveling as much. We're going to call people who have stayed here in the last 2 years. They give us a list. And we're like, we're going to let them know what our deals are and see, hey, they stay here in June. Let's see if we can get them back this June. And we were looking at the room types, and they had people calling and saying, hey, you know, I'm calling from yada, yada, yada. I see you stayed here, and it's the room type you have. Here's what we offer. And, I mean, it worked for a couple people, but a lot of people were like, never call me again. Take me off this mailing list. And the people that I work with were like, they hated it so much.
Wow.
To me, I was like, it's actually kind of cool because, I mean, you know.
It's not bad.
If you're a consumer, having someone know what you like and calling you, it feels good. Because most places will send you an email and not think about you, but to give a personalized call, it's like,
oh yeah,
that human aspect definitely has to feel good.
Yeah,
you know,
I do it. I like cold calling. I mean, it did take me a while to rip that Band-Aid off and actually get to it, but once I started doing it, I was like, I don't really understand what's the big deal.
And you love what you do though too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing. Like, if you're gonna do real estate, you really want to, like, you're really gonna have to want to do this, because like, the grind is crazy. Like, the grind, I can't explain it no other way. Like, I had a homie, he's a bartender. He was talking about getting his real estate license, doing it on the side, and I looked at him. I was like, man, if you're not gonna be all the way in, like, why even waste your time? Like, because with real estate, it can be very, very lucrative, but you gotta be 100% all the way in.
I don't feel like this is a job for someone to do part time. If you can, shouts
do
to
it.
you. We were in Cancun, and one of the girls with us is a realtor out here, and they were like, "Where's she at? Why is she at the pool?" And then her homegirl, who works in the same team as her, was, "Oh, she's talking to clients right now."
Yeah,
and I was like,
working.
"Yo,
working."
That reminds me when I worked for the Navy. I was off, but I have my guests call and ask me questions or want to book. I'm like, all right, well, let me do this. But you have to have that constant grind.
Yep, it's
so
always.
How do you find your balance with work and life? How do you find that work-life balance? You got two beautiful boys, man. Two handsome young men in your life. So how do you balance, being the amazing realtor cat you are, but also being that loving and supporting father on this end?
That, it's hard. But then again, like I said, I'm only a year into it. I think I'm balancing it pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, my boys come first, man. Yeah. Like, if they call, I'm gone. So yeah, I've never really had that issue.
Not yet.
Yeah, I haven't really came across that
Let's
yet.
hope you don't, though.
Yeah, I don't think. And another thing I like about being in real estate, I'm my own boss. Like, if I don't feel like moving, I'm not moving. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to go to the office every day, or I don't have. Everything I can do real estate, I can do from the comfort of my home. I don't have to. Yeah. So, yeah. I got freedom now. I think I spend more time with my boys now than I did when I was in, for sure.
And that's beautiful.
100%. Yeah.
You ever taken them to a showing?
Oh, yeah. I take them all the time. Yeah. So, it's funny because I put the bug in their ear early. Like, I be breaking percentages down with them. Like, hey, this house is... If I sell this house for $700,000 and I get 3% commission, like, what is that? What does that look like? What is this? And they see the numbers and they like, oh, what? Like, you can see, like, you get what? Yeah. Like, yeah.
That's crazy.
But you got to grind, because that check can go away in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I tell people in real estate, don't spend it before you got it until the ink dries, because until escrow signs that dotted line, that check it's not. It's not there yet. So it could go away. I've seen the craziest thing happen. Like, people pull out at the last minute, not get approved at the last minute, and
that's one thing I always wondered. Was my homegirl who helped us get this house, her daughter, I think she just turned one. She just turned one, I believe. But they take her to their showings. Her and her husband are on the same. They're like a family team.
Nice.
Shout out to the Minnows.
Man, if you can double up. Before me and my ex split, I tried to get her into the TC game, because she's really organized. So, like, if you know somebody that's a really organized person that can keep, track of contracts and make sure things are moving along, like, they can make $400 or $500 a pop, $600 a pop.
Just doing that?
Just doing TC.
Well,
just organizing paperwork. sending emails.
My job right now, I work with groups, so when contracts come in, even though like it's already been signed, I'm like, hey, did y'all know y'all put this in here? Do y'all know?
Man,
I keep all the contracts in when we get addendums and get new
all you have
things
to
added.
do, I think you have to get a license. It's kind of like a real estate. It's not as strenuous as a real estate license, but there is a license I think involved to be a TC. But that's all it is transaction coordinator. That's all you're doing is making sure the transaction is coordinated.
Yeah.
Sending emails, making sure people docu-sign this, docu-sign that, compile it, make sure that agent gets what they need, make sure I get the paperwork I need. At the end of the escrow, $600 TC fee.
I might need to look into that.
Yeah,
look into that.
I tried to get because I mean, and then what's cool is if you're a really good TC, agents will, because they need their transactions to go flawlessly.
Yeah.
Because if you got a bad TC and he's missing deadlines and things ain't getting signed, that's how the deal can fall apart.
Yeah.
So you want a good TC on your team that can handle the paperwork and efficiently and get it back to you, as quick as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Six. I think I've seen some TCs make $700 a deal. Like
that's crazy.
And
they just got to
if
coordinate
you're working
everything
for like
to make
5
sure
or 6 agents, and you got 6 agents, and each agent has 2 deals, and you're making $500 to $600 a day.
Yeah.
It can get silly. You know what I mean? Real estate. There's so many avenues of making money. It can get silly.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So back to what you're saying, people who back out the last minute. So let's say I'm buying a home, right? I'm going in. I don't do my proper appraisal of the house. So I don't do all. I think appraisal is something you really need to get done to make sure that you. Yeah. Let's say I forget something like that, and last minute I'm trying to buy the house. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do it. At what point can I back out safely instead of having to be like, you know what? You didn't properly get out in time, so now you owe us X amount.
So most contracts, off the top of my head, I want to say it's 10 days. So you get it. Well, let me back up. Everything is negotiable.
Okay.
In real estate, everything is negotiable. But you do get an inspection period. So whenever you write an offer, you will write in that offer, okay, with we're gonna offer you, let's just say $500,000, but we want a 14-day contingency for inspections and things of that nature. So that is the time frame that you get. Now you'll send that offer out. Now the seller might be like, okay, I agreed to the price, but I only want to give you 7 days. Or, I mean, you can go back and forth. It depends. But most of the time for inspections, they just sign off. So during that 14 days is when you're getting your appraisal done. You have your home inspector come in. You're taking a walk through the property to see if anything is out of place or anything that you might want to ask for to be fixed. And then during that time, you'll resend out another, hey, these are the things that we found. This is what we would like to be fixed. And then you start negotiating with the seller. And then the seller can be like, no, we're going to sell as is. Or what's happening a lot now, we're not going to fix anything, but hey, we'll give you $20K towards closing. Or we'll give you $20K closing costs to fix whatever y'all want to fix whenever. You know what I mean?
So we're not going to do it, but we'll give you some bonus off the back to do it. Yeah. Okay.
Because it's better to get it off the back end. Because I mean, these people are probably making $100,000, $200,000 on the sell of their home, depending on the equity that they have. Yeah. So for them to give another 15 is,
it's nothing. It's pennies to them at that point to get everything.
I wouldn't say that, but
well, you know what I mean. Like, they're sweating next to like
still 15 racks.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Which is crazy because the older I get, it's like I just see the way people talk about money. Like, oh yeah, I got, $20K that I might have to, put down. And I'm like, oh my God. But people are just like, oh, it's been stacked. We're good. And I'm like, even me, I got money put in the bank. I'm like, if I had to just put away $20K right now, I feel like it'd be tough for me.
So what I would do right now for you guys, I don't know how soon are y'all looking to?
Honestly, we're looking at like the next 2 to 2.5 years. Okay. But honestly, the main thing is just to pay down the debt. And also I told my girl, both of us need to start bringing in a little bit more money. Okay. So I'm looking at getting a new job now, but I'm looking to make at least $80K with this job. Okay. That's what I'm looking at. So I'm really trying to, but also it's tough because I want it to be something that I really want to do and enjoy. My position now, I love what I do. I just feel like I need to be paid a lot more, which I'm actually trying to.
You say you've been in sales, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about getting your license?
For a realtor?
Yeah.
She talked to me about it, but I was like, I don't know.
I'm not.
again, like maybe I need to intern with somebody.
Down here, Alan, and everybody oh man,
I might need to intern with somebody, but it's just like I haven't been introduced to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was introduced into what I'm in hospitality now. I was in retail. I worked at the gym. I worked, all this other stuff. I was like, I don't know about hospitality. I love staying in hotels. My family works at them, but I don't know. I got into it. Then it was just the grind, you know what I mean? Like upselling guests and getting, not really commission, but getting bonuses off of that, getting your cut. And then the position I'm in now is like, if we do really well, we see something on the back end. So it's just like, I told her I think I might want to go into sales, but I'm also like, maybe I can be on the back end, like the coordinator side. So I'm a coordinator now and I love it.
I think, okay, so in your position, when I kind of, to double back, I kind of said, if you're not going to be in real estate 100%, don't do it. But I have to double back because the lady that got me into real estate, my realtor, when I was going through my situation selling my home, she was a teacher. She's a full-time school teacher.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she makes way more money in real estate than she does selling houses. I mean, than being a teacher.
Yeah.
She does not quit that job because in Riverside County, she is known as the house lady for that school district.
Yeah.
Everyone that gets transferred to that school district gets sent to her during orientation because they're going to need a house.
What?
So she literally won't quit because that's where she gets all of her referrals from.
Yeah.
You could do the same thing.
Yeah.
Being in hospitality, you're having people come in and out. You're meeting so many people.
Yeah.
Just let them know, hey, just in case y'all know, I'm a realtor if y'all need me. And you just start planting those seeds.
Yeah.
If you need me, I'm a realtor just in case.
Yeah. My girl was like, you talk to people so
That's what I'm
easily,
saying.
you're so
Yeah.
nice. Like people trust you and like you have a very welcoming energy. Why don't you look into that? And I'm like, I don't know. So you have multiple friends who do it. Like you can ask them. I was like, again, I'm in that period to where now, like when I left my Navy gig, you work for the government, safe job. Wasn't happy there, but didn't want to leave because it was safe. And I was like, my next leap, which is this one, I was like, I got to make sure I like what I do. Yeah. So now going to another type of work, I'm hesitant. You know what I mean? Yeah. But with the baby here now, I'm like, I gotta
change is change is one of those things that a lot of people don't like doing, but change brings growth. So just remember that change brings growth. Yeah.
So that's something I need to might need to think about that.
Yeah. I mean, like I got a master's degree in Homeland Security. My whole plan was to be down here in San Diego, working at the border, chilling on the beach. Yeah. And I mean, life happens. Yeah. Now I'm doing real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like
I've
not
been taking
even close to
IT
what I went to school
courses
for.
through Google. That's what I've been doing. Like on my free time is doing those. I told her if I don't get into anything in like coordinating or anything, IT would be cool because you can work from anywhere. The job I do now is a lot of back end technical stuff. So I'm like, I love being and working with computers and doing all that. So I'm in this integral period to where I'm like, I don't know what I want to do next, but I know what I'm great at.
With your homegirl that, you say you have a homegirl that's a realtor out here that helped y'all get this spot.
Yeah. Shout out Christina.
And ask her about the TC thing, man. You can make a little side gig, man. Yeah.
So what is that? Is that like you're in the office or is
like
it more
no,
like you get a
TC's
laptop?
Transaction coordinator. So basically you're going to get emails from both the buyer side, both the seller side. They're going to be sending you documents as far as like W-2, whatever you need for that process, whether it be the property tax paperwork or the inspection paperwork or ordering the appraisal, things of that nature. Yeah. She handles all that. That's what the TC does.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. But it's really easy. It's really easy.
There
is nothing hard about real estate.
Organized and have really good attention to detail.
There is nothing hard about real estate.
Yeah.
Zero, zilch, nothing. It's just having the grind. That's the hardest part. And if you don't got the grind, you're not gonna make it.
See,
but
there we go.
Yeah, that's it.
So I had a question. So one thing I don't know what this means. It was a question I put on my Instagram and somebody had asked me, but it was avoiding PMI. I've never heard of that, so I'm gonna let you break down what a PMI is and like why avoiding it is important, or even if you need to avoid it.
Well, I mean, okay, so PMI it's basically mortgage insurance.
Okay.
So it's insurance basically. Okay, so you're borrowing money from the bank, not putting any money down or putting very little money down.
Okay.
So this is just basically insurance that guarantees the bank is going to get their money that if you default on the loan.
Got it. Okay.
But you have to pay that insurance up front. It's like paying your car insurance or paying your, it's that's all it is. It's insurance for whatever reason. If you were to default on that loan, the bank will get paid.
Now, is that only if you don't put any money down?
Yeah. So now,
or if you only put like a portion of what they asked for?
Exactly. Okay. So if you want to get around PMI, now you're looking at conventional. You need at least like 20%.
Yeah.
So just throwing numbers out there, if you're looking at a house that is about 600,000, because we're in California, like let's do 600,000, because you can get a nice crib out where I'm at 600K.
Yeah.
You're gonna need about 120,000 down to get out of the PMI. But what that shows the bank, if you're willing to put $120,000 of your own money down, you're really serious about this house.
Yeah.
It shows that you got some skin in the game.
Yeah.
Now, when you coming in with no money down or 3.5% with the FHA loan, the bank wants to have some type of insurance. Like, if you jet on us, are we gonna get our money back?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they asked me, I was like, I don't know. Like most questions that came in, I was like, okay, yeah, this came question I got, but PMI, I was like, I ain't never heard no shit like that.
No.
At all.
Now, so another thing. Now, I was telling you about that NACA program. So NACA, no money down. And I'm almost, do I have it? I don't know if I wrote that down with me or not, but I almost think NACA, there's no PMI with NACA if you qualify. I'm not 100% sure. I have to double back with that one, but I'm not sure.
So NACA is a NACA?
Yeah, NACA. So NACA basically is it's a nonprofit program. They don't advertise because it's nonprofit.
Yeah.
But if you go through the program and you make it all the way through, what they ask you to do is to advocate for them. But yeah, man, you can go in with not the best credit score, no money down, go through their process, go through their classes, and in 6 to 8 months be in a house, man. Like, and then if you use like I was telling you, the multifamily aspect, what they do is they approve you on once you get into multifamily homes, the approval process is a little bit different. So, like, say if you're getting a duplex, NACA will be like, okay, we'll approve you 300,000, but the duplex is 500,000. What you can do is, say if there's a person that's already living in the one side, you can use their income to help you qualify for the loan. Now, what I try to tell people is, NACA will approve the more doors you get, or the triplex or the quadplex, they'll approve you for more money. Yeah. Because those homes are gonna normally cost more because they're bigger.
Yeah.
But what's good about that is, the more the home costs, typically you're gonna be in a better area.
Yeah.
Typically. So even if you're getting a quadplex, and let's just say NACA approves you for 800, 900,000 on a quadplex, you're probably going to be in a decent area than buying a $300,000 duplex. You feel what I'm saying? Because location is key with real estate. Location is key.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're borrowing a lot more, but you got 3 tenants that you can use their income or their rental income to help you qualify for the loan. No money down. And as soon as you have committed your time with NACA, I want to say you have to live in a property for 5 years or more. You're able to refinance it and do whatever you want to after that.
Okay.
Now you got a cash cow.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it because for me, I'm like, if I get this home, it's for the family. But there's a lot of ways we can leverage that and get more money out of it.
Multifamily, man.
Yeah.
I think for your first time home buyers, multifamily is the key.
Multifamily, then use that income and then get your nest egg afterwards.
Because just imagine you buy a duplex or a triplex, quadplex, you live in one, rent out the others. Once that time is done, you've built equity, you've saved, you move out, you rent the unit that you were living in. At that point, you can get whatever you want at that point. I would honestly tell you, rinse and repeat. I would do it a couple times before I would have a couple quadplexes before I was like, okay, I'm good now.
So what would you tell the first time home buyers if they were to get that duplex or that triplex? What do they have to learn as property managers before they get people in there?
That's what's dope about NACAs. So if you go through the NACA program and you want to purchase a multifamily unit, they send you through a property manager class.
Oh shit! So they put you on game.
Bingo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, 'cause
Yeah.
I get this duplex and I got people that I don't know living here.
Yeah.
I don't know the laws. I'm just trying to, you know.
They make you take a property manager class.
Okay.
Yeah. When you get into multifamily, it's just a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get the education. That was my biggest thing in my head. I'm like, so I'm in here, I'm renting to 3 or 4 different people. I don't know how to be a fucking bro. I don't know what I'm liable for, what happens.
True.
So I'm like, okay. But you are the property manager. There's no one
You
that
would be.
they bring in as like, we'll take care of it for you.
I mean,
and you just live there.
You could pay a property manager if you let's just because the tenants will only know you're the landlord unless if you tell them. You know what I mean? So if
you can be
really
anonymous
wanted to be all hands off, you could probably get a property manager to take care of it for you.
And they just think you're just a neighbor.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Okay. So another question that I had for you was the difference between conventional FHA and VA loans. Only because, again, I've never bought a home. I was kind of in the mix when my parents did it, but again, I was more or less in the background, kind of like, okay, yeah, I like that location. That's cool. Plus, again, it's mid-pandemic, so I couldn't even go with them to every showing. You know what I mean? So, but in these 3, I mean, VA loans, I'm sure only a certain amount of people can get.
Right.
Not everyone's available for that.
Yeah, so the VA loan, is backed by the Veterans Affairs. It's a government-backed loan, but it's for people, veterans, or people that prior serve, or surviving spouses.
Okay.
Now, FHA is also a government-backed loan.
Okay.
And it's a loan that was meant to help low-income housing to purchase a home, because honestly, the hardest part in the home purchase process is the down payment.
Yeah.
And that's what eats a lot of us up, especially black people, because we're horrible at saving money.
Oh yeah.
Horrible. Like, and I'm bad at it too. But we're horrible at saving money. And that's where they get us, because you have to have a down payment to purchase a home.
Yeah.
And if you don't ever save up the money to get that down payment, you'll be a renter forever.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what they want you to do. They want you to be a renter forever.
They're making more money off you that way.
Yeah, so the FHA loan was a way for them to implement a way for us to come in with a little bit less more money, but then you have the PMI insurance.
You got to pay that up front.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then conventional, like I said before, is typically 20% down or more. Okay. And that's how you get out of the PMI insurance, and you bringing more cash to the table. Most of the time when you go conventional loan, you have more bargaining power, because you're bringing more skin to the game. You got more cash behind you. So, you got more bargaining chips.
Okay.
Yeah, you can ask for a little bit more.
So me, I've never served. I used to work for the Navy, but I was never in the Navy. My dad, retired Marine. Okay. So for me, let's say I was, and I will just say for me, I bank with Navy Fed. Would I be eligible for that VA loan, or would he have to be like a co-signer on that? Or how would that work for me to be able to get that?
There are different ways y'all can navigate that. Unfortunately, at this moment, I don't think you do qualify. Okay. I know the surviving spouse is, but I almost want to say I would have to tap in with a good friend of mine, Travis. He's real big in the Inland Empire. He's helping push a bill through one right now that veterans, that if you're 100% disabled, no property tax in state of California. There's a lot of states that do that already. California isn't one. Yeah. But there's also a bill that is being worked where, say your dad does have this home, has a really good rate, it's a VA loan, he can transfer that VA loan to you.
Got it. Okay.
You might not be able to qualify to get a new VA loan,
but I'd be able to get it.
But he can transfer this existing one to you, and you continue to pay off.
Now, would there be a fee on that transfer? No. No fee. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think there's a fee.
Okay.
But I would have to look into that. But I know you would keep the same interest rate and all that good stuff.
Okay. Yeah. That's one thing I was wondering. So I'm like, if we get a crib, do I have to have his name on it somewhere to get that loan? But
I'm gonna have to get back to you, because I know there's a bunch of things in the works. Because they are trying to get it to where the children can use it, because unfortunately people aren't using the benefits. Like, I didn't know about how much leverage the VA loan had until I was already out the military and got into real estate. Then I was like, damn, I could have bought a house every station I went.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because every 2 years you can recycle the VA loan, rinse and repeat. No money down, buy a new house. You know what I mean? That's why. I mean, I was stationed with guys that had multiple homes, and I was like, damn, how are y'all doing that?
I never got it either.
And nobody was, nobody. Now I make a point to go back to the base. I do VA presentations, and I try to tap in with the young airmen and be like, yo, use your benefits, and this is how you can use it to build some generational wealth, for sure.
I used to work at ASW down in Point Loma. There'd be cats who come in, and they were like, oh, yeah, like I'm 24. I just bought my second crib out here. And I'm like, wait. Hold on, what?
Yeah.
Like I'm from Florida. I got a crib back there, but we had to move, but I didn't want to sell it, so I'm renting it out.
Bingo.
And he's like, so my tenants out there are pretty much paying for the money out here, but I'm also getting, a stipend from my command or whatever. So pretty much, like, he was like, yeah, bro, I'm getting like X amount of thousands a month.
Yeah, I love to hear that.
I'm just chilling.
I love to hear that, man, because I wish I would have known that, man. Yeah, so now that's why I go back. I tap in with him, because if you start young, oh my goodness! By the time you retire in the military, if you want to retire in the military, you can have a nice,
if you do it right,
situation. Yeah.
One of the cats was coming through. He used to, I don't know if you've ever been to ASW, but in the Navy Gateway, there's like a little back section where you can kind of hang out. Every day I'm like, bro, like you come on, you onboard the new kids, and then you wait till like 6 p.m. when the next kids come in. Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just trading stocks. So I'm like, all right, whatever. You just like, during that time, kind of after COVID, people were always doing stocks. And he was like, yeah, bro, I got like $200K invested. And I was like, what? And he showed me, he's like, yeah, bro, because I got this and that going on. This money I get from here, they already pay for my rent. Also, other money, I don't really go out and do anything. So I'm doing this. And I was like, you learning the game young. Like, you were young. I think he was like 27. I'm like, honestly, you're about, at that time, we're about the same age. But our bank accounts are way different. He was like, nah, bro, like once you get in here good, you know what you're doing financially. The military sets you up well. Yeah. The thing is, people don't take advantage because they're not used to having this money.
Buy Chargers.
Yeah, exactly.
Mustangs.
I was like, so what do you do? He's like, bro.
And motorcycles.
He's like, I live downtown. My rent's already covered.
I can't lie, I did it too.
Yeah, and he was like, honestly, bro, like I don't have a car. And I was like, you don't want a car? He's like, bro, I don't really do anything. He's like, I'd rather stack up money, move back to Virginia, have a fat ass crib, retire early, and be chilling. And I'm like, for me, I didn't have that. I still
it's
have
a mindset shift.
I still don't have discipline.
It's a mindset shift, no doubt. And what I think COVID was detrimental to a lot of people, but COVID also made people switch their mindset and think out the box. Yeah, because you had to. You know what I mean? You had to.
A lot of us got put in survival mode.
Yeah, you had to. And I think the younger generation, because of that, has grown. They've seen that, okay, I don't really have to have a 9-to-5. I can make money without going to school, or I can make money with this Robinhood. I can make money. There's so many different avenues and hustles, and people just starting to figure out their lane. Yeah.
I applaud anyone who can. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like you said earlier, me and my girl were like, we don't want to have to clock in anymore.
Yeah, nah.
I hate having to feel like I don't feel good today, but I have to go in. It's like, nah, like I don't feel good. But, excuse me, if we tap into something we love to do, that we can just be at home not feeling good, but doing what we got to do. You know, so that's that hustle right there is just.
I think you should seriously think about it, man. Look into getting into real estate, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think you'll be good at it. Yeah.
I've been told that, and I'm like, I don't. You know, the thing is with me, I'm like, I need to do it and then see, oh shit, like you can do this. But in the back of my head, I'm like, you can do whatever you really want.
Oh yeah.
Even with my daughter now, like I've never been trying to tell her she can't do something. Like, you can't pick that up, but almost like I don't want can't to be in her vocabulary. That's a whole different podcast.
That is, that parenting 101.
But I just don't want to ever tell her she can't or she's not, she shouldn't.
I learned the hard way with that one. Yeah, because you never want to. I used to do that too before I learned. Being in the military. It rewires your brain to think differently. But then once you have children, you got to understand that they not in the military. They don't give a fuck about the military. Like they don't give a fuck about none of that shit. They just know you're your dad, and like they just want to have fun. And so once I got out of that mindset, it made being a father a lot easier. Yeah, but like you said, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother.
Especially being a black father. That's a whole other podcast. All right, so let me see what else. I mean, you've answered a bunch of them, even just in the conversation. You've answered a bunch of these ones.
Cool.
You got NACA in there.
Yeah, I didn't even think we went through the list. We've just been chopping it.
I was reading through it. I was like, he actually just answered that one. Like the NACA one, you went ahead and just took care of that one already.
Yeah, NACA is a dope program, and I hope people really look into that. If you got any questions, just reach out to me, man.
Like, yeah. So on here, I see you have Cal Hoffa. I mean, you went over that one.
So Cal Hoffa, I wasn't really too familiar with. It's a California program.
Yeah.
And they released a certain amount of money, and I want to say I saw that they already ran out of money. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they might be out of it already.
And that was for like first time buyers, low interest
first time
programs.
home buyer. It was kind of like a thing towards the end of COVID, but I think it might be already done.
Yeah.
But NACA's not going nowhere.
Okay.
FHA is not going anywhere. And if you're a veteran, VA loan is like the best leverage you can ever have in the real estate game. You can literally buy a house every 2 years. Buy a house with your VA loan, no money down, stay in it a year to fulfill your VA obligation. I tell my clients, I tell them do 2 years, because after 2 years you get past the capital gains.
Yeah.
As far as like taxes, and then refinance it to a conventional, free up your VA benefits, and buy another one.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, that's game right there.
Yeah. Every couple years you can get a new crib with the VA loan.
So the MCC, Mortgage Credit Certificate. Tell me about that. What is?
Mortgage Credit Certificate?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar.
I think you have that one in your notes.
Let me see.
I'm asking. I know some people might be, second, third home buyers. A lot of my questions is based on the first time home buyer, kind of like things that we should prepare for, things we should look at. Is there a website you could recommend? I'm gonna just strictly say in Southern California. If we're Southern California buyers, is there a website we should go to, or is it more or less like just tap into somebody in your county for the best programs? How the programs work out here?
Programs for first time home buyers are always changing. So you would just have to tap in whenever you're ready to see what's out there.
Yeah.
But what you really want to do is get with a good real estate agent.
Yeah.
Somebody that you can talk to, somebody that you feel comfortable sharing personal information with, because the real estate buying process is very personal. Like, I'm gonna need to know how much money you really have. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to really need to know if you're like paying your credit card bills and stuff like that. Like, it can get really, because a lot of people on the outside will be like, oh yeah, I got this and this. But then when you start digging deep into their finances, it's like, whoa, okay. We got to clean up a few things.
That's one thing shoes taught me too, because people buying shoes and having the latest Supreme, then you meet them and it's like, you barely eating.
Tripping.
But you know what I mean? So that's why I
can't hate though. I did it too.
I sure did myself. I sure did too myself.
I can't hate. I did it. I had a man.
When I was working for Liz, bro, I'm telling you,
God.
My checks were small back then. I worked for Liz, and I might get like a $700 check. And no lie, 4 to 5 was already bought for shoes. Pairs coming out I wanted. I was young and dumb then. It's like $200 for 2 weeks. I'm straight with that.
Yeah.
I'll bring cereal to work. I'll hit McDonald's every day.
You already planned it out.
Yeah, and then like looking back, I'm like, bro, you literally went for broke just to have a pair of shoes.
Yeah, bro. We all did it. Yeah.
I don't pass judgment, of course. I'm like, I've been there. I've done it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that shit no more, though. Nah, I'm done. I've been done with that. Yeah, it was fun, though, man. We was young. It was fun. It was fun.
We were in Cancun for Manny's wedding, and they were always like, well, how do you guys know each other? I'm like, shoes. But ironically, most of us don't even collect anymore.
Yeah, we don't.
I still do,
so crazy.
But most of us don't really collect, but we connected over shoes.
Over
shoes are just the things that kind of,
Yeah, brought it together.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So,
I mean,
what are the top 3 things you would recommend for a first-time home buyer? Like the top 3 things that you would, if you met me and I was like, look, I'm trying to buy a home. What are the first 3 things that you would ask me? Boom. 3 to 5. There's more than that. Feel free to ask me.
Well, yeah. Okay. So first, like I say, find a real estate agent that you trust and that you know and that you have a connection with, and then through that, have him put you in contact with his trusted lender, because first you want to know how much you can afford.
Yeah.
You know, what's your budget like? So once you get with the lender, he's gonna go through your your credit worthiness. He's gonna go through your accounts. He's gonna ask you for some paperwork so he can apply for the loan.
Yeah.
He's gonna give you a pre-approval, and then based on that pre-approval, he'll let you know, okay, from this preliminary, from what I see, I can pre-approve you for 600,000.
Yeah.
Now that lets me know as an agent, okay, 600,000. Your mortgage is gonna be 4K. How do you feel about 4 to 4.5K a month? Can you do that?
Yeah.
And if you tell me, yeah, I can do that comfortably, or nah, I'm more comfortable around 3 or 3.5. Okay, yeah, you might be pre-approved for 600, but we're gonna start looking around like 455.
Yeah.
Because if you're not comfortable, I want to make sure you get into something where you're not stretching yourself too thin.
Yeah.
And that you can comfortably cover your mortgage payment and have money left over in your pocket.
Okay.
So yeah, you might be pre-approved for this much, but that's not what we're gonna go for. We're gonna put you in something
more realistic.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. And then once that process is start, I'll set you up on a property search campaign that is tailored to your criteria, how much you want to spend, how many bedrooms, what area. You want to look into school districts, especially you with having, the little one.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you look into school districts and accessibility, grocery stores, shopping. Where's all that stuff located to you? Because location is key when it comes to real estate, especially if you're looking to later on rent this out to someone else. Yeah. You want to make sure you get in a good location.
Okay. Yeah. So with lenders, so like let's say I'm pretty sure you have your trust lender you go through. What if they're like, okay, that's cool, but I want to go through my personal bank to see if I can get a better offer?
That's cool too.
That's cool. Okay.
So if you have a relationship with a bank or a credit union that you've been with for years, and you have multiple accounts with them, credit cards with them, and you have that relationship, you could possibly get a better rate with them.
Okay.
I mean, that's an option. Yeah.
Okay.
So just because I presented you with a lender, that doesn't mean you have to use that lender.
It's I already got you on this.
Or what you can do is go to your bank and then go to my lender and then compare. Have them compare. And then maybe your bank can beat my lender, but most of the time my lender could probably beat the bank. When you get into private lending, they can't. Banks are so stricted.
Yeah.
Unless you're dealing with a credit union. You say you were Navy Fed credit. Yeah. So you could probably get a decent rate with them, but my lender could probably still beat him out because he's private.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So with that being said, I'm just trying to think of other questions. Like I said, you didn't ran through a bunch of these.
I'm kind of scanning through the notes right now. I was looking for that one question you asked me for the MCC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while we skim through that, like as far as selling the homes, this is another question I had asked.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? Oh, I know certain realty. Let me try to start this the proper way. I know certain realty groups have homes in a network that they're already kind of working with the sellers on. For you, let's say I find a home in Santee, I love it.
Okay.
But that's not necessarily one that your team is working with. There's another realtor who's in there. Is that home theirs, or can anyone come in and say, hey, I'm a realtor, my name is Terrill, I want to help you sell your home? Like, are they tied to that one realtor to help them sell, or can anyone come in?
Okay, so it's two different sides. So there's a buyer side and then there's a seller side, and each side has their own agent.
Yeah.
So if there's a house that you like that's on that's popping up on a listing, that listing was posted by agent. So that seller already has an agent.
Okay.
And then I would represent you as the buyer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And that's how that works out. So normally, just to give you an idea, say the house is $500,000.
Yeah.
And the commission split is normally like 5%.
Yeah.
The buyer's agent will get 2.5%, and then the seller's agent will get 2.5% of the sale.
Gotcha.
And then that's how we work out the commissions. But for me, like you were asking me earlier, where do I work? Like, do I travel all over the IE? I mean, I travel to IE, San Diego, Orange County, LA. I'm all over. Yeah. But if I couldn't get down here, I have a network of other agents, because there's also referrals. Yeah. Like, there's so many ways to eat in real estate. So if I couldn't come down here, what I could do is set you up with one of my good friends that are real estate agents on a referral basis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, hey, this is my client. I can't take care of him. Here's the deal. Now, 25% off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you already ran their credit and everything.
Everything.
And
I'm giving you everything. He's solid, pre-approved, good to go. He just needs to get put in this house.
Easy day. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So and then a lot of agents hop on that because the paperwork and everything's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just got to find the home matched with seller.
Bingo.
Easy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought about that. I don't know what. Someone asked me a question. I was like, that's a good question.
A lot of seasoned real estate agents, when they get to the point where they just that's what they do.
Yeah.
They don't, I mean, why, where they can just refer, and just eat off of the refers.
You know, I didn't think about it the way you said it was there's like a seller's and a buyer side. That's obvious, of course, but I was thinking as a real estate agent, you're selling a property.
You can do both.
But I mean, but in that case, you're on the buyer side. So you're like, you're buying with your client, but you're not, you know what I mean? Like that's why I was.
But you can do both. You can cover both sides. It's not typically, California is one of the one states that let you do that actually, but I could.
Yeah.
I could. So like say if I had a listing where I am representing the seller.
Yeah.
And you're my boy and you see my open house on Facebook and you're like, oh man, I like that. I want to put in an offer. I'm like, all right, cool. I can represent you. Now I'm representing the buyer and the seller. It can get a little dicey because technically I'm supposed to get you the best deal and I'm supposed to get him the best deal.
Yeah.
How can I do that if I'm playing both sides?
That was the thing I was also wondering.
So it can get a little dicey because if later come down the fact and you did now one, I have to disclose to both of you guys that I'm representing both parties. Yeah. If I don't disclose that, and let's say you find out later and you feel like, well, damn, man, I don't feel like I got a good deal. Now I can get sued. You know what I mean? So it's a dicey game when I mean, that's a big check, but I mean, do you really want to play that game? Like, it's not really worth it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather just keep it, cross the T's and dot the I's, man. Like,
So let's say again you're on the selling side and you have a home. Let's say you don't know the buyer, but you somehow meet the buyer. They come to you. What do you have to disclose about the home? Like, let's say I'm showing you things in this home. Do you do your own appraisal before like let's say I'm selling my home? Do you come to do your own appraisal and kind of get the value and then?
So the appraisal is done on the buyer side. Okay. The buyer, that's their responsibility. Okay. If you're buying this, then it's your responsibility to get it appraised and inspected and things of that nature.
Okay, because I'm just asking, like, let's say, you're selling a house to somebody, you're helping to get it off the market, and there's a leak, but you don't know about the leak.
Yeah.
So then is it like, oh, well, you should have disclosed that to me? It's more like, nah. You should have got it appraised. That was on you.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
So if I'm representing the seller and for whatever reason he's like, oh, yeah, I got a leak, like the foundations, whatever, now I legally have to disclose
if they disclose it to you.
Yeah. Okay. But if I don't know, then I don't know.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So do you ever do like not saying you do, I mean, I'm sure you're in the selling business, so you're not going to do a full inspection. But let's say this house, I'm like, hey, I want to sell this house. I want you to represent me. Do you ever come through and say, okay, cool. Like, can I come do a walkthrough to kind of
100%. So once you get into the process, so buying a home, the process of buying a home, it's almost identical in selling a home. There's a whole process. So the first step is emotionally detaching yourself. Yeah. What that involved is decluttering. When people start decluttering and getting rid of things and throwing away things they don't want or needing, that's when it really gets emotional. Yeah. Like you cleaning out the closet and you you opening boxes that you haven't opened for years and you like, that's when it really hits people. Yeah. Like, do I really want to sell this house now? Like, you know what I mean? So it's really important to get emotionally detached. Yeah. Once you do that, the declutter process starts. Storage, you want to start taking pictures and getting the home ready to sell because honestly, just like a vehicle, you can't sell a broke car. Yeah. You can't sell a broke house, So if there's little things that need to be fixed, whether it be paint, holes in the walls, doors, minor things. Now, there are some things that I recommend my clients not fix because if you are going to put money into your house and fix things, I want you to get $3 for every dollar you spend. Yeah. So if this improvement that you're doing isn't going to get you the return times 3, then it's not really worth it in my eyes. Yeah. Because the person that's buying a home is going to do whatever they want to do with it anyways. So you can put new carpet But what if the person that buys it wants wood floors?
Yeah.
Now you just put new carpet that's finna get ripped right back out.
Yeah.
So, it's little things that's worth putting into the home that'll bring more value. But then there's some things you can kind of pass on because it's not gonna bring the value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting thing. I don't know. I just feel like it's just good to learn these things. I mean, it's just some things you don't know until you know. You know what I mean?
Kitchens and bathrooms sell homes.
Yeah.
And the master bedroom. But most of the time it's the kitchen. If the kitchen is fire and like upgraded, the bathrooms are fire upgraded.
Yeah.
That's what sells the house.
Because we got this one. The roof was brand new. They just redid it. The kitchen, everything was all done. They pretty much, redid the whole house essentially to sell it. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's more of it's like if it's an older house, you want to kind of put the money into.
And then if you do purchase, so what a lot of people do, they purchase a home and they be like, okay, that's it. But that's not it. Like you have to keep it. Purchasing a house is just like purchasing a vehicle. You got to keep it up to standard. Like you got to change the tires on your house.
Yeah.
So I'm saying you got to change the tires on your house. You got to change the tire. You got to change the tires on your car. Eventually, you got to upgrade it. So same thing with your house. Like every couple of years, you need to fix and change things to keep it up to date and with the time. So when you do go to sell it, you don't have to be like, oh God, I haven't touched this house in 15 years.
Yeah.
Let me try to get it up to code now. If you do it little by little as you grow into the home, when it's time to sell, shouldn't have an issue.
We didn't, at least I didn't realize how much gardening we had to really do. We got turf in the backyard.
Oh, wow.
But we had weeds back there.
Oh.
So we first moved in, they started growing in during the summer. We took them out. Now they just blossom out of nowhere. And then we didn't know before, but there was gophers. And they come up from under the only reason we knew is they was coming up under the turf, and I was like, what the fuck is that? So now we trying to snip and kill weeds and do gophers, but it's so much work because the first few months is like the honeymoon, like, oh, it's beautiful. Everything here is fine. Then slowly things start happening. And it's like, yo, homeowners insurance. Is that required out here in California?
I recommend my client. I usually work it into the deal, homeowners insurance, at least for the first year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recommend it because things happen.
Yeah.
Things always happen. But during my inspection, like say if my client's about to buy a house, I'm going through the inspection with the appraiser. I want to see what he sees. I'm going through with the inspection guy because I want to see what he sees. And I want to make sure he's looking at, the hot water heater or the air conditioning. Let's see how much life we got left on these utilities because those are going to be the first things that you're going to have to replace. Or, does the home have a pool? Okay, what does the pool motor look like? What's the heater look like? Let's look at these things and make sure that they're good to go. So, you don't move into something and immediately got to start changing appliances and things like that.
So do you go when the appraiser comes? Do you go with them?
I like to. I like to see what they look at.
Okay.
Some agents do. A lot of agents don't. Me personally, I like to see what because then I get a good idea of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. And I'm guessing that could probably differ, or is there like a concrete list of things they have to go through?
Man, if you ask an appraiser, they'll make it seem like it's way more complicated than what it is. But at the end of the day, they the ones that's going to give you the value of your home. So you got to kind of jump when they say jump and play the game with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because the appraiser can change. The appraiser can literally kill a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have an appraiser that you like to offer your clients?
Normally when you go VA, FHA, they have a set network. You don't get to pick.
Okay.
They just send a random, whoever pops up.
Okay.
They send them out. So you don't know who you're going to get. And
I just wonder, I'm like, yo, do y'all have someone who you're like, you know what, hey, he's great. I know what he's looking for. This house has this, so get me the best value. Or someone else like, you know what, I don't know about this. I'm gonna come through and try to get you the best deal because I'm gonna just find this and that to just tack on there. That's why I wanted there was a certain list.
So whenever you get ready to get your house appraised, unfortunately, but it's a conversation we have to have. But like, you want to take down all personal pictures. You don't want to have family photos, things, because there have been some appraisers in the past that have, purposely not appraised black and brown people houses to what their value should be because of, they walk in the house and see, pictures on the wall or whatever.
There was a lawsuit about that, right? This black couple, they did their house appraisal.
Yeah.
Then they had their white friends come in and pretend it was their house, and they got a higher value.
Like $100K. Like crazy. Like, how is it off that much?
That's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah. That is wild. Like the house I told you where they pulled it off the market, that house was like just walking into this one. Mm-hmm. Everything was where it was at. There was groceries in there. There was stuff in the rooms.
Yeah, they're not moving.
Yeah, I mean, they pulled it, but in my head, I'm like, they're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
There was some houses you go into, and it looks like it's just like a show unit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, okay.
Staging is everything, too. Mm-hmm. Staging is good. For me, I like for my homes to be vacant because I want the buyer to imagine their things in it.
Bingo.
But, as long as you got the house staged and declutter is the biggest thing. Like, cabinets, you want everything off the cabinets, everything off the table, everything stuffed somewhere behind a door or something. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It does something to people's vision. When
it feels new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just one of those things, yeah.
Well, we've gone in this summer, and I'm like, oh, so they already moved up. No, they still live here.
Yeah.
It was just so bare you couldn't tell. It's like you said in my head, I'm like, all right, well, I can imagine this being the room I record in.
And that's like that's like this new way of, my ex was on the minimalist, I think that's what she called it. Is that like a thing?
I've tried to adopt that, but as you can tell, I'm failing.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is, man. I don't even know what that is. Minimalist. I guess you just live with the least or
just the essentials. That's
essentials.
The essentials. I'm like, I like shoes too much, even though I don't buy it like I used to. But it's like
I like nice things. Man.
Yeah, if you want to, I'm gonna have one game system, one TV, 10 pairs of shoes. I'm like, you crazy as hell.
I'm cool.
I got 10 pairs of shoes in this room alone. What you talking about?
That's cool.
But yeah, I know you've been up since 5, so I don't want to hold you too long. But before I go, there's a segment we do on every show called Tap In.
Okay.
Now, it's something that you can do. I know you said you're on your cleanse right now. You're on your, so it could be, I want to tap into my health.
I came down here the wrong time, man. It's about to be Cinco de Mayo tomorrow too, man.
That's testing your strength, though.
Man.
But in this one, it's like you can tap
30
in.
30 days no drinking. I think I'm on like day 20 or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got 10 more days. You can redo Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
But it could be tap in with family, tap in spiritually. Anything in your life that you really want to tap into to bring back to the forefront to kind of get you where you want to be. So what would you say you want to tap in with? Person, place, thing, anything in the world.
Man, I just want to tap in with myself spiritually.
Okay.
Yeah, and get back to I feel like I'm tapped in as far as my mindset focus on real estate, and I just want to tap in and be 100% focused on business, and I want to build this generational wealth. I want to be that foundation for my family to be like, hey, let's go to Hawaii. Don't worry about it. Just show up. Yeah. I got it. Yeah, like that type of big uncle type situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's what I want to be, the first in my family to be like, hey, let's go on a cruise. Don't worry about it. Like family cruise. I got it. Don't worry about it. Just show up. Yeah, just show up. Let's have a good time. Yeah. Or, something like that. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful though. I mean, like I said, having baby girl, I'm like, generational wealth is important.
Bingo.
Like, people like when her baby shower, like, oh, what shoes does she want? And in my head, I'm like, I'd much rather y'all just give us money. Like it sounds weird.
Put it in the fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it in trust right now. When she
has an IRA right now.
So a big thing right now, a big play is the
529.
The insurance. The oh golly, what I just tapped in. What is
the Gerber or
no? I think it's called UIL. Or ULI. Mm-hmm. Universal Life. Yeah, Universal Life Insurance. So you can start insurance policies on your children.
Yeah.
Children now, mind you, these are insurance policies that you can pay in, mind you, like $10 a month, $15 a month. It's something silly. Yeah. I set them up for my little ones, and when they get of age, they turn 18. These insurance policies they can pull from. Yeah. So you want to go to school or you need a new car, you can pull from these insurance policies because it's money that they've been paying into over years. Yeah, right. I highly recommend looking into that.
Because we got her IRA.
Mm-hmm.
We put $1,000 into it, and then we kind of let it stack, and then we took some money we got from family. So I think right now she has like a little over $2K. But I told her we're just gonna keep putting in. Once we came back from this last trip, we're like, all right, we're gonna save again. We're putting
Have you heard of Greenlight?
No.
Greenlight is like another avenue where you can invest for your children. You can set up brokerages, so you can set her up like a little brokerage account.
Yeah.
Say she got whatever is in the account and pick 3 stocks, 2 ETFs.
Yeah.
Apple, Apple, let's say Apple. What's another good one?
I think Disney might have been in one.
Disney's a good one. Or man, why am I? Oh, Nike. Bang, there we go. Nike, Disney, Apple, 2 ETFs. Let's just do XLK and QQQ technology, and have it set up to invest $25 in each one of those every month. Man, she turned 18. Yeah, it's a wrap.
We were already talking. Just put away every birthday.
Like there's nothing.
Christmas,
what's 5 stocks times 25? What is that? $150 a month? Not even. So I wouldn't.
25.
5 times 25. Yeah. So man, that's nothing. You spend that going out to eat.
Yeah, for sure.
Once.
Skip a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
You got 2 months worth right there.
100%.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes. I mean, honestly, like I said, with us, like material things are cool, but I'm like, for her, I'm like, I'd rather her turn 18 and the world is hers.
Yeah, kids make you think differently, man. Kids definitely make you look at the world differently.
It's weird when we first heard about it. I was all right. Like January of last year, I think I ended up buying like 25 pairs of baby shoes. Crazy. And then like the next month when we saw her, like we found out her gender and saw like the picture of like actually looking like a baby, I was like, yo, this shit doesn't matter. Yeah. I want to make sure you have the financial freedom to do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Just looking at funny, my own mortality.
I think Jordan, my oldest, maybe he's 11 now.
Yeah.
Maybe up until 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he was still wearing shoes I bought him when he was a baby. Like it was stupid. Bro.
I put a halt to it.
He had so many shoes before he was even born. It was crazy. Yeah. And then I didn't just buy baby shoes. I bought them like all the way up.
She has like I was buying them up to like
youth. Yeah.
She got 3 Ys in there. I told my friends, I was like, honestly.
Because I was like, yeah, you're going to wear these one day. These fire.
That's what I kept saying. I was like, I told everyone, look, we love the gifts. I love shoes, but I would much rather y'all invest in our future. It sounds weird to ask, but I'm like, look, if you really want to do something.
Nah, it's smart.
Instead of buying
every other culture does that except us.
Yeah. I'm like, instead of buying a $50 pair of shoes, give us 50 in cash or give us $20.
Jewish people, Asian people, everybody, they get money, they put it in accounts, and they watch it grow. They don't waste money on bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I work with a lot of people who do bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs.
Yeah, man.
And
they rack up.
One of them was like $70K for the event.
Yeah, rack up.
I talked to the father, and he was like, honestly, like, we're a family. We all chip in.
Yeah.
This money right here, we've been putting in since
when they put in, it doesn't hurt anyone because everybody is putting in.
Yeah.
So nobody's going broke because everybody's helping. Man,
we had a Jewish wedding, and the dad was like, he tipped me $350.
Man,
he's like, what is your Venmo? I didn't want it. I was like, what is your Venmo? I finally gave it to him. I was like, this is too much. And he was like, no, you've been amazing. He's like, honestly, brother, you see what I just paid for this wedding? This is nothing.
Yeah,
you deserve more than this, but I don't want to offend anyone else. But the way they do it, though, they work together.
Yeah,
I feel like in the black community, it's more of like
I think it's coming back. I think in the black community, it's getting there. We're starting to get over that stigma, and I think it's just been years of stigma, not to our fault, but just society and the way we look at each other as black men. Like you walk past, like as a black man, I walk past another black man, I shouldn't feel like some type of way. So now when I walk past another black man, I make a point to say hi. Yeah, and it's crazy because the reaction you get is like, whoa.
It's a sigh of relief.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, shit. He said, oh, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's crazy. Why do we have that? Yeah. That, I don't know, man. That's weird. But we got to get past that.
You button heads, but
like, for no reason.
Nod, it's like, okay, cool, we cool.
Yeah, he's cool. All right, cool. I'm cool. He's cool. Yeah, it's like, why though? It shouldn't be like that. Yeah, it shouldn't be like that at all. Yeah, 100%.
Especially in most places when you walk past another brother, it's you and them.
Exactly.
There's not many of us, but it's like the few of us in there. It's like it's tension, and it's like that first nod, that first how you doing, brother, and it's all right, cool.
All right, cool.
It's wild, but again, me and Bobby got a series coming up. We're gonna talk about that. But
I can't wait to hear. Go. Yeah, I can't wait to hear that because it's weird that we do that as black people. We got to get past that.
Yeah.
Because once we get past that, I think that's when things is really gonna start changing.
Oh, we run a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It's from entertainment to
Crazy.
sports to whatever. We got a lot of power.
Yeah.
But before I let you go, because again, it's almost 11. I want to make sure you get safe into the crib. Any parting words for the people? Could be personal, could be financial, could just be about homes. Anything you want to say to people?
Take your future seriously. Really, really think about, diving in deep in real estate. Reach out to me, 951-850-0097. If you don't reach out to me, reach out to a real estate agent you trust. And really, like, when I was on my way out the military, I was pushing my troops to invest in the stock market, because that's what I thought was the way. I thought the stock market, and this is before COVID. This is right when Robinhood first started.
Yeah.
I made all my troops download Robinhood, refer each other so they get the free stock or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, every day they came to work, they would see me watching CNBC and investing. They would ask questions. But now that I'm in real estate blows the stock market out the water. Like, you take your residual from real estate, and when you don't have nowhere else to put it, you put it in the stock market.
Yeah.
Or in a different investment. You know what I mean? Yeah. Real estate is where it's at.
There we go.
100%.
That might be the title of this podcast.
Yeah, real estate is where it's at. It is. Like, it's crazy.
I'll put your socials in the bio of the podcast episode.
Appreciate
so
you.
I don't know if you want the phone number in there, but if not, I'll put your IG and then your website and all that. That way they know where to find you and all that stuff. Then they can do their own research. So
Bingo.
Just so y'all remember, Southern California, not just the IE.
Yes, sir.
San Diego, Orange County, LA,
all
wherever.
Over.
He got you. And if he ain't got you, he knows somebody that got you.
Bingo.
So either way, you say
Yes, sir.
But as usual, it's your boy Tron. Thank y'all so much for listening. Terrill, thank you for coming down here. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate you for stopping by, brother.
Appreciate you. San Diego's my office for the next couple of days. Just hang out.
You heard him, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, then. Till the next one. Peace.